What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Oblivion Games deck profile. Um, we got a spicy list for you guys today. I got first place at our Friday locals, if I remember correctly. Um, Piloted by one of our locals here. You know, he always plays some of the interesting things. So, how about you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us the deck you're playing?
Hey, what's up? I'm Christian. I'm playing Mystic Mine Exodia.
All right, and some of the matchups you had?
Salamangreat, Lunalite Orchist, and I didn't really get to see the other two.
Scooping up after say South Final Countdown and Mystic Mine and
scooping up
stuff.
after they saw Final Countdown.
All right, makes sense. They're like, yeah, and say it's not that day, man. I'm not gonna do it today. Yeah, all right, man. All right, go ahead and get to it.
Okay. So I have, starting with the monsters, I have Exodia, and then I have 3 DD guides, and I chose this monster because when I normal summon it, it automatically goes to your opponent. So if I open up with Mystic Mine and don't have a field barrier, this will stop Mystic Mine from popping itself during my end phase. So it's just a really helpful card. And that's actually all the monsters.
All right.
So I'm just going with the trap next. I have triple Solemn Judgments because I really wanted to focus on the heavy backer removal hate, because Mystic Mine will stop the monster effects, but they won't stop the spells and traps, which can get really annoying when everybody sides in like 3 Cosmic Cyclones or like 3 Twin Twisters.
Yeah. And it's actually really good, too, that you played the DD guy, because I think I saw earlier that you were playing it, and we gave it to your opponent. They actually couldn't even Lightning Storm you because they controlled the face-up card.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that was really cool, yeah. Or evenly.
Yep. Then I have 2 Solemn Strikes. I mainly use just only 2, because once I have Mystic Mine up, they can't really use monster effects too much. So these are just for like contingencies where if they get rid of Mystic Mine and I have a backup to use, or if I want to lower my life points. And then I have 1 Metaverse, just to have an extra search power for Mystic Mine, just in case I don't open it turn 1. And then 3 Dark Bribes, which is just more spell and trap hate.
Yeah.
Those are all the traps. And I'll go to my spells. Upstart Goblin, just general draw power and gives your opponent's life points, which is really important with the spell card that I have in this deck too, where my life points has to be lower than my opponent's. 1 Day of Peace, another draw card, so it gives me a free turn to get another draw later on. 3 Demise of the Land. It's kind of like Metaverse, where it's just to search out the field spell.
Oh, yeah. It was so
And
fun.
interrupt my opponent to disrupt their plays when they're about to go off. 3 Pot of Duality, just to go through my deck a little bit faster. And I don't special summon at all, so I don't really care about the downside of that.
Yeah, makes sense.
1 Set Rotation, just to Metaverse and Demise of the Land, just to get to my field spell faster. And I actually do also play Necro Valley in this deck, so
Nice,
I give myself Mystic Mine and my opponent Necro Valley. And it also helps with my opponent, because I know that there's some field spells and using the meta that are really problematic, so I can just stop my opponent from using their field spells. Terraforming, just to search out my field spell. 2 Field Barrier, to protect my field spell. I was using 3 at one point, but I found it was too cloggy, and I opened up a bunch of field barriers, but no Mystic Mine, so it was just kind of a dead card in my hand.
Yeah,
but I found that 2 was a perfect amount since I have some search power in my deck.
MVP card?
And then this is kind of the real MVP card of my deck. Everybody asks what it does when I play it, but it's pretty much if I have my opponent and they have DD Guide, and let's say I used an Upstart and they control DD Guide, I can basically use this card for free. I pick 3 cards from my deck and put them at the top and immediately draw 1, and then I get those other 2 draws the next 2 turns. So what I usually like to do is either put a Mystic Mine and like 2 draw cards, or if I'm really close to Exodia, I just put the 3 limbs of Exodia.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, last time you did that. It's crazy.
But it's a really good card. And then the Necro Valley, just so I mainly just use that so I can give it to my opponent with set rotation. And then 3 Mystic Mines, just kind of other than Exodia, kind of what the deck is focused on and needs 3 of those.
Yeah.
And then the last one, if Exodia fails, I have Final Countdown.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Backup plan.
Yeah, backup plan for Exodia.
Backup plans. All right,
I
let's see,
typically like to use this. It's great when I open this because then if I have my life points lower, so if I open up, let's say that, get my life points lower to my opponent with this. They have a monster, BD guide, so then I can activate this right away, turn 1.
That makes sense. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you have Upstart too. That also gives you that.
Yeah. So that's my main deck.
And I saw that you weren't playing Extravagance just because like it's just the car's super expensive. It's like,
yeah. Once if it goes down in price, when it gets the reprint, I will definitely experiment with it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, I'm pretty sure you would need your extra deck, so yeah, that makes sense.
Just put up some Flame Swordsman and 1,000 Dragons in there.
Yeah.
All right. So now the side deck. I have 3 Dark Ruler No Mores. This is just for when I most of the time win game 1 and I go to game 2 and my opponent just Nat Beasts me or Hope Harbingers me on their turn. And I usually swap these out with my DD guides if I'm going second. And it'll just make it so I can actually play pretty much against like Nat Beast and other spell negators. The good thing though is I don't really have to worry about Appaloosa at all. So I can just focus on the... And then I have 3 Curse Seal Forbidden Spell. I usually end up actually having 1 or 2 spells in my hand that like a duplicate Field Barrier or say like a duplicate Mystic Mine or Necro Valley. So this card comes in handy. And I can pretty much just stop the opponent's important spells. And I also usually side these in if my opponent puts in a much more back row hate, like Twin Twisters or Galaxy Cyclone than they usually would. Like, if the Dark Bribes wouldn't be enough, then I put these in as well. Makes
sense, yeah.
And then 1 Red Reboot, just to stop things like Evenly Matched or Eradicate or Epidemic Virus if they go first. And it actually makes, since I have to pay half my life points, that also helps out a lot with Draw of Fate.
Draw of Fate, yeah.
And then 3 Heavy Storm Dusters. Just if there are any problematic continuous spells, traps, or field spells that I want to get rid of, or if I'm playing against pendulums and I want to get rid of their pendulum scales. And then 2 Goddess Skull's Oracle. I was using these in the main deck, but a lot of decks that I played against just search out their stuff, so it didn't really help out too much, but I still have 2 of these in here just in case I'm going against a deck that relies on top decking or drawing cards without searching too much. And then 3 Prohibition. This is just kind of an extra safety measure. If I know what my opponent's playing game 2 or game 3, I can just try to stop them from using it with these. And this will give them another target to destroy, to go after, other than like Field Barrier and Mystic Mine.
Yeah.
And then finally I have 3 Cauldron of the Old Man.
Oh, the time.
Yeah, it's pretty much just if I want to need more life points to activate the cost for my solemn cards, or if I just want to, if my opponent is close to losing, I just burn them too. And this is just like another target too with like Prohibition, where they have to, do you want to destroy this or Field Barrier or Mystic Mine or Prohibition? It's just kind of just to keep Mystic Mine safe.
That makes sense. Yeah, and it's great for time too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I can just get a quick 300 damage.
Yeah, for time runs out. I would expect you to go to time a bit because
Yeah, because this deck definitely it's a grind game a lot of the times.
All right, man. Is there any shout outs or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, shout out to, I go to a card shop in Lakeland with my friend Johnny B's Cards, Comics and Games. The person there was actually playing like an Exodia deck, and that's kind of how I got the idea, because he was using Draw of Fate, but he wasn't using like Mystic Mine or any of the Floodgates.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like, and I saw he used DD Guide, so that's, I had no idea that card existed before I saw it.
Nice, man. All right, man. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for doing that profile.
Thank you.
All right, later, guys.